Okay, so picture this. A software platform completely reinvents itself in just 2 weeks. I mean, literally, 2 weeks. That is the incredible story of Woodbury, a desktop automation tool that went from a pretty simple utility to a seriously powerful development platform in what feels like the blink of an eye. So today, we are going to break down exactly how they pulled off that transformation.
This quote from the Woodbury team's own retrospective, it really says it all, doesn't it? This whole thing wasn't just about cramming in more features. No, this was a fundamental change in their whole philosophy. It's the story of a platform really growing up, and it all happened at a breakneck pace.
So for anyone who's new to it, what is Woodbury? Well, at its core, it's a desktop automation platform. It brings together browser interaction, AI, and these powerful workflow engines all in one place. It's a super powerful tool for automating tasks on your computer. But as we're about to see, it is becoming so much more than that.
All right, to really get the scale of this transformation, we have to look at the timeline. And trust me, this was a full-on sprint, not a marathon.
Just look at this timeline. It's wild. Kicking off on March 5th, the platform goes through this breathtaking series of changes. It starts with these really solid foundational improvements, right? Better browser recording, but then it just accelerates like crazy into this massive dashboard expansion, a huge architectural refactor, and then bam, entirely new ways of building and using automations, like the V2 pipelines in app mode. So the most obvious change, the one you'd see right away, was to the dashboard, the user's home base. It went from being just a simple settings page to a true operational hub. Let's take a closer look at that. The ambition here is just crystal clear. You see the before on the left, basically a place to tweak things. But then look at the after, an operations console. We're not talking about just a settings page anymore. The dashboard is now the command center for the entire Woodbury system. And the expansion is just massive. I mean, we're talking about direct chat with the AI agent, asset management, and integration with all kinds of external tools through MCP. That's the Model Compute Protocol, which lets Woodbury talk to other AI models and services. And there's even specialized tooling for things like storyboards and skills. It's a whole suite of professional-grade tools right there. Okay, now for what I think is the single most profound architectural shift in this whole story. This is the engine upgrade, where these automation pipelines went from being simple configuration files to sophisticated code-first projects. This is a game changer. Before this change, a complex pipeline was just one single massive JSON file, with all the JavaScript just kind of jammed inside. It was hard to read, basically impossible to manage with version control, and trying to collaborate with someone else on it, oh, that was a total nightmare. And this question, this is the one that sits at the very heart of the new V2 architecture. What if we started treating automation with the same discipline, the same rigor, as professional software development? What would that even look like? Well, the answer is right here. A V2 pipeline is no longer just a file. It's a whole directory. It's a complete, modern TypeScript project with its own source code, tests, documentation, dependencies. It even has its own Git repository baked right in from the start. And the benefits here are just enormous. You can use your favorite code editor like VS Code. You get all the safety of TypeScript to catch errors before they happen. You can manage all your changes with Git. And this is brilliant. The visual graph editor inside Woodbury always reflects the state of your code and vice versa. You can even clone entire pipelines straight from GitHub. It is truly the best of both worlds. So you've got this new command center. You've got a brand new engine. What's the actual payoff for the user? Well, the answer is a totally new way to experience the results of your automations. Before, even the most complicated, amazing pipeline would just spit out a block of raw JSON text at the end, which, is fine if you're a developer, but for anyone else, it's not exactly helpful. The solution they came up with is called App Mode, and it's designed to do one thing: transform those raw technical outputs into a polished, interactive application. And the best part? It does it all automatically. So instead of just getting raw data, you get a purpose-built UI. If your pipeline generates characters for a story, you see them as this beautiful grid of cards. If it creates a video sequence, you get a render panel that looks like it was pulled straight out of a professional tool like Blender. For screenplays, it even gives you an NLE-style editor, which is kind of like having a video editor for your script. It's just a huge leap in usability. So let's step back. What's the big picture here? What does this absolutely crazy 2-week sprint really mean for the Woodbury project as a whole? Well, it all comes back to this idea from their retrospective.
The platform matured because they decided to make everything explicit and driven by contracts. Nothing is left to chance or just assumed anymore.
And you see this new discipline everywhere. Instead of one big generative step, tasks are broken down into smaller, really well-defined subcontracts. Code generation only happens after a structured plan is made, documentation is automatic, interfaces are explicit. This level of rigor is what lets you create automations that are robust, reliable, and actually shareable.
So here's the crucial point. The sum of all these changes elevates Woodbury from just a personal automation tool into a full-fledged development platform. A platform for building and sharing complete AI-powered applications.
And that leaves us with a final kind of provocative thought. When you can turn these complex back-end processes into polished front-end apps automatically, and when the creation process starts to look and feel a lot more like modern software development, well, this new version of Woodbury completely blurs the line between a user and a developer. It really opens up a whole new world of possibilities for who gets to build the next generation of software.